science.
Fight is that the blood of 1,000 men and women was spilled within these walls. Limbs twisted and broken, eyes gouged from bloody sockets, flesh burned black.
Please. Await the dead. In death, there are no accidents, no coincidences, no mishaps, and no schemes. What you have to realize is that we're all just a mouse that a cat has for a tail.
The number you have reached, 911, has been changed to a non-published number.
Warning, the following show contains conservative posturing, radical Christian ideas, and may offend pagans, Wiccans, Islamic fundamentalists, and other unenlightened individuals. Callers and guests may be subjected to brash and offensive comments by the hosts and any other type of bullying tactics available. But that's okay. We know why you're here.
This concludes this test of the emergency broadcast system.
Tonight is Monday, October 15th, 2007.
Welcome one and all to World of the Unexplained, where the unexplained becomes explainable. Well, maybe not, I don't know. I'm sitting here tonight with my good friend, colleague, and co-host of a new political talk show, Mr. Chuck Browder. How you doing tonight, Chuck?
What's up?
We in. So,
It's hard to break it, man.
It is. Tonight we've got a special treat for all of you boys and girls out there in Halloween land. Tonight we're going to bring something that I've never heard another radio show bring you. Have you ever heard of this idea before, Chuck?
I haven't heard it presented yet, so...
No. You know the guest I'm talking about that we have coming up.
I gotcha.
Have you ever heard somebody do a take like that on radio?
Not off the top of my head, no.
I think it's a radio
first. You may have created
first.
a first, yeah.
I think so. Now, I could be wrong. If I am, I'll never admit it, but I think it's a radio first, and what better place, what better forum than World of the Unexplained?
No, I wholeheartly agree, man.
Or this is October, man, and this is, for people like us that do October year-round, this is the month for the kind of stuff that really, is supposed to be spooky and scary, but I don't know, for us, we've kind of tried to make October fun, and I've been trying to do that with this month, and hopefully, things will tend to be that way. Trent Lackey just showed up. Hey, Trent. Good of you to show up on time.
I'm slow. I drive slow.
I know you do.
That's what happened.
I can totally understand. It's called leave early, get a watch. All right. So I think you should vote on this, guys. Email us here, worldoftheunexplained@gmail.com, or call in 877-722-7382, and come up with some ideas on how we can fine Trent for being late. So that's the topic for tonight, amongst other things. But like I said, as Chuck and I were talking about, I think we've got a guest coming up here in just a few moments that...
You think?
Is going to, I know we do, but
okay.
Is going to be maybe a radio first, possibly. And so I'm going to keep you on the edge and surprise of your seat here. I'm not going to tell you about it until we're almost ready to do it, because it's going to be fun for Halloween, and Halloween can be fun this way. It's like a little surprise. So what's going on in the political world, Chuck?
It's been a slow week. I mean, there was a debate last week. Did you watch that?
I did not. I missed it.
No?
I did.
Fred Thompson's 20 seconds of silence.
Yeah, I did see clips of that.
Question. Yeah. He also referred to the Soviet Union and made a lot of one-liners about, how he thought he was the best actor up there, which was obviously a prepared line.
Yeah, I did see it, Chuck, and one thing that really bothered me was the fact of this little shouting match. Oh, I raised taxes. No, I didn't raise taxes, between Romney and Giuliani. And personally, I thought, quite honestly, that had nothing to do with issues whatsoever. And I didn't really care for it very much. And plus it stole away time from all the other 14,000 candidates that were up there on the stage.
I think one of the other big lines that came out of it, too, was that Romney apparently would contact his attorneys when consulting what to do in regards to Iran.
Yeah.
Which I heard
attorney.
a lot of hate made about, that shows he may not be ready for prime time either.
I just don't think that a lot of presidents know exactly how far they can go constitutionally.
They probably don't, Scott.
Well, you can stay there 90 days it's my understanding.
War Powers Act.
Yeah, and then Congress has to.
Yeah, they can pull you back.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever.
Yeah,
That's my understanding of it too. A limited understanding from constitutional law many years ago.
I don't know. Well, who do you think was stood out in that debate there, Chuck? Since obviously you watched it.
I always love Ron Paul. I think he's one of the few sane guys that's still up there. I still think John McCain actually did pretty well for himself.
I like Huckabee.
Yeah, Mike Huckabee, and I think that's probably if the conservative right ends up backing any of these guys, I think it'll end up being him.
Oh yeah, well obviously they wouldn't back Giuliani.
He's a former preacher. He's not a career politician. I think he's somebody that they can get behind. And he's a former governor of a southern state.
Yeah,
always
that's
a good
true.
thing.
I wasn't too impressed with what Thompson was talking about. Sorry, Scott, and your Go Thompson.
I also saw him this afternoon on Neil Cavuto's show, and again, he didn't look like he was fired up to run, for a race that it's going to last over 12 months. That's going to be huge, or it's an immensely long election cycle.
Yeah,
I know.
And I don't know if McCain, much less him, would be able to to stand up to those kind of impediments.
And not only that, they're going to get
it.
into your personal life and things like that. It's
well, more than that. I mean, just the traveling, the
wear and
campaign
tear.
schedule. I mean, the lack of sleep. You don't eat right on it.
Yeah,
it's just like going on a concert. Going on a rock show, really. Except there's no hot women. And,
no roadies.
Yeah, no roadies.
There may be some roadies for some of these guys. I mean, how do you think?
I can't even imagine what they are.
How do you think Kucinich met his wife?
Oh man! Wow.
Have you seen pictures of her, man?
No, not really.
During debates, they love to show her. They really do.
Is she hot?
She's pretty hot, man.
That's what
She's
I
a
thought.
vegan too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well,
vegans are weird.
I think she's a former model.
She became less hot just now, just by
being a vegan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm just kidding. Whatever.
I'm not.
I mean, yeah, it's good to be healthy. So, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I saw the whole debate, forward and backwards, and I don't know. I mean, it seemed all right. Like I said, I just didn't care for that mudsling crap.
Mudsling's good.
Nah, just wasted time. That's what people don't want to see. And you're gonna see it again in the Democratic debate between Obama and Clinton, you're going to see that again. And
Osama Obama.
Yeah. So, anyway, so what's going on with the paranormal, Scott? Anything paranormal happening in your life right now?
Just this show.
I made kind of a vague...
Oh, Dr. Al Prophet today was on Fox 8.
Was he really?
I think, yeah.
No kidding.
This morning. He was at Twin Lakes Lodge last night. I spoke to him for a little bit.
Huh.
And I wanted to mention on the show, and I told him I would. Let me make sure I get this right. So I'm going to open the email to make sure I get this right. And I don't want to say anything wrong. You know what I mean? So I'm going to open the email, and I'm going to look at it. Because apparently the school now that he is teaching at in Boone has accepted his research project, basically, which is a good thing, like the other school did. It's App that's in Boone, is that right?
Yeah, it was.
So that's where he was at Western before, and now he's at Appalachian.
Right.
Okay, so Western accepted
he's still up in the hills,
and now apparently Appalachian State has accepted it. So this is a good thing.
That's cool.
It's a good thing for old Al.
Looking it up.
Yeah, I'm looking for it now.
Checking
Here we go.
out emails.
I got too many emails
yeah,
here.
There are a number of.
Okay, yeah.
Unnecessary
Let's
things.
see. Yes, the fact that Appalachian State has approved his work with anomalous occurrences in educational institutions. So that's very good. Appalachian State.
Cool.
Yeah, head of the ball game there.
You should come down and investigate Yadkin College.
Yeah, that would be a good one, actually.
That's a pretty creepy place, actually. Although I don't think it's not used as a college anymore. No one lives there anymore. But, I mean, it has a pretty rich history. And, yes, actually, indeed, Scott, the people of Yadkin College did eventually go on to found High Point University.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. It's the same group of individuals.
Tonight I want to give everyone the surprise here. We've got with us You have that? Yeah, thank you. We've got with us Mr. Bill Lent. I'll give you a little bit of his background before we bring him on.
I like your notes there, Scott.
Yeah, you like that, don't you?
Yeah, that's
He's done over 40 years of electrical construction work. I hope I'm getting this right. From the Trans-Alaskan Pipeline
Ooh, that's
all the
exciting.
way to even doing residential stuff. He's been union for a long time. And he's been with a church in Sleepy Hollow.
Oh, no, yeah, you're telling me. Okay, yeah.
And he worked as a sexton there, and now he takes care of the cemetery.
The old Dutch cemetery?
Yeah, so let's bring him on. Bill, are you with us?
I'm with you.
All right, thanks for coming on the show tonight. Welcome.
Appreciate you having me.
Oh, yeah, we'd love it. Tell us exactly what you do at the cemetery.
What do I do?
Yes, sir.
Multiple. I'm groundskeeper for a 3 acres burying ground. The title cemetery doesn't come in until the 1800s. We're still back in anywhere from 1640 to the 1800s. So we call ourselves a burying ground.
Oh, okay.
Manicure the grass, keep the trees and bushes clean and tidy. Repair stones in a very small bit to keep them up to date, so that people can come in and look at them. What else? I was sexton of the church, which is on the property.
Now, what exactly does a sexton do?
I can't get the volume on this thing right.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
What exactly does a sexton do at a church?
The custodian. Sweep out, wash windows, make the place tidy for the people coming in for a Sunday service.
Okay. Now you give tours there as well, don't you?
I got to close my window. There's outside noise.
Okay.
All right, try it again.
I said, now you give tours there as well, don't you?
Yes, it's tour guide. That is one of the interesting things I do. Through the years, of the group that I'm in, and the group that started our organization, did some research. The original girls did 2.5 years before they even publicized the book.
Okay.
And in that was inferences that certain people were part of the legend of Sleepy Hollow.
Ah.
And I've started to take it apart and add to it. And it looks like we've got quite a few of the characters.
Now, I've heard that Ichabod Crane is actually buried there.
No. The true Ichabod Crane was buried on Staten Island.
Okay.
He died in New York City. The family took him to Staten Island, put up quite a decent monument to him. He was full colonel in New York Guard in a field artillery company. And I don't know all the real fine details, but it was quite a pretty monument.
Huh.
Unfortunately, graffiti came along, and graffiti did a nasty job on him. A school teacher from New Jersey went over to Staten Island looking for the real Ichabod Crane, and don't you know, she found him with all of the graffiti on him, and got some money, did rubbings so that she would get all the correct wording on the monument, sent part of it to Vermont, had 3/4 of an inch cut off, and then they redid the lettering. Now they have to do it sandblasting.
Oh, wow.
But she brought it up to date, and it is, I was told, I've not seen it, I was told it's pristine. It's very pretty.
That's good to hear.
And she also got a group of students, and they cleared the area of that cemetery where his monument is, so you can walk in and get a good look at Ichabod Crane.
Huh. Now, what about the Van Tassels that we hear
Say
so much
again?
about? What about the Van Tassels that we hear so much about in the Legend of Sleepy Hollow?
Several different ones.
Okay.
In this cemetery is a stone that is uniquely cut. Some of these stone cutters were quite artistic. The one I'm referring to has the name Katrina on it.
Aha.
Yes, and it's not spelled Katrina. It is Catrina. Man came in several years ago, and somehow in the conversation, the family noted that the old man over there is a retired professor of literature in the Netherlands. So I questioned him about Katrina. Is the C correct or is the K correct? And he said either.
Okay.
We accept either as being correct. So it's a point of argument. Whoever wants to argue, go right ahead. The unique cutting of the face, the way it is placed in the cemetery, in the burying ground, bright sunlight comes on it about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, starts striking the forehead, the cheek, and the side of the nose. You looking at it, you start concentrating as what you're looking at, and third dimension optical illusion sets in. The third dimension comes into the face. We know Washington Irving was there in the cemetery yard when he was about 15 years old. If he walked by that and missed it in that whole summer that he was there, I don't think it could have happened. So he had to see that optical illusion.
So what does this optical illusion do? It looks like a face?
On the face changes from just flat dimensions, width and height, to the third dimension of depth.
Wow.
And all it is the position, the light, the way the man carved the face.
Oh, that's cool.
That's pretty unusual. It probably took a great deal of skill to make that work, honestly.
I had parts of it I think were accidental. The stone cutter was had to be an exceptional man with a chisel.
Yeah.
And a maul, because you can see it and you can feel it. When you take your finger and run down the jawline, at the bottom there is a dimple in the chin. That man had to be exceptional as far as a stone cutter goes.
Huh.
Yeah.
Now, what about some of the... Oh, go ahead.
We're talking now casually. I suggested earlier when we first talked that it would be so much nicer if you could be here and actually see what I'm talking about.
We plan on it next year.
Yeah. We've been planning on it for a while.
I'll take extra time and I'll walk you through the whole thing.
That'd be great.
Yeah, it would.
And we plan on having a great party up there next year and getting everybody involved. It'll be a lot of fun. We'll spend a week. It'll be fun.
Good.
Now, what other characters from the book are actually based on other characters or based on real people that maybe we would find in that cemetery?
All right, let's stay with Katrina.
Okay.
Irving saw her tombstone, and if he saw a tombstone, it tells us one thing: the lady had died.
Yeah.
So now Irving has to come up with a description for Katrina.
Okay.
While he was in the church all through that summer, he was up in the boys' balcony. In another balcony on another wall was a very pretty young woman. Eleanor Van Tassel.
Okay.
I don't think he was at times more than 40 or 50 feet away from her, and he got a very good look at her. Flaxen-haired, I believe, is one of the expressions he used. The other one gets a lot of young girls upset. Plump as a partridge.
Plump as a partridge. Yeah. Yeah, I think nowadays more so than maybe then.
Yeah, maybe that would be.
It's a description of a girl, 18 years old. She has not yet lost her baby fat.
Huh.
That's no big deal.
Yeah.
She's not fat. She just has not lost her baby fat. And she was described as being plump as a partridge.
Well, maybe he was describing other facets of her anatomy as well. I don't know.
That girl, I believe, is the description for Katrina Van Tassel.
He based it off of her because they were the same last name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
well, coming down to it, we found out that Eleanor Van Tassel was Katrina's husband's niece. So it's all in the family.
Huh. Wow.
Yeah, so it's conceivable that she may look like that, family resemblance and all.
Quite interesting.
Definitely.
Other people, Brom Bones. Mr. Irving said very specifically, Brom Bones is his nickname.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
Take the word Abraham.
Brom.
Write it out. Scribble out the A and the H. B-R-A-A-M is left.
Brom. Huh.
Mr. Irving, in his normal way, liked to snooker people. That's one polite way of saying it. He didn't write it B-R-A-A-M. He wrote it B-R-O-M. The two A's and the O have very similar sound, so he snookered us and wrote it B-R-O-M. Taking your thoughts. So now we're looking for somebody that has a name with a B-R-O in it. And it's not there. It's B-R-A-A-M.
Right.
Yeah, he was cute that way, some of the things he did.
It definitely sounds like it. Well, listen, we're going to have to take our first break, and we hope you'll hang on with us. Mr. Lent is going to be right back with us, guys. So you're listening to World of the Unexplained tonight. We've got Bill Lent on, and we're going to be back to talk about more Sleepy Hollow here in just a few moments. Hang tight.
And we're back. World of the Unexplained. Guys, give us a call tonight. We're talking about Sleepy Hollow. It's Halloween. It's Bill Lent. 1-877-722-7382. That's 1-877-SCARE-YOU2 or 336-996-1596. Give us a call, guys. Halloween, Headless Horseman, Sleepy Hollow.
All of your questions answered here tonight.
All of them.
Now, Bill, tell us about the legendary bridge that's always talked about and always filmed.
The bridge. A bone of contention with a lot of people. I was fortunate. I met the owner of the monument business that is just outside of the south gate of Sleepy Hollow Cemetery.
Okay.
A man, at the time I first talked to him, about 80 years old, 82 years old. It went on for our friendship, grew, and it went to, he was 93 when he died. The latter part of our meetings, he told me that he had been present when they demolished the Headless Horseman Bridge.
Wow.
And I said, where was it? He said, right in the back of my grandfather's business, right where the monument business is today.
Oh, you're kidding.
I said, can we see anything? He said, you sure can. He says, you have to go into Sleepy Hollow Cemetery to see it. And he took me down with his cane. He took me down and pointed it out. The abutment on his property, on his side of the river, was pointed up with cement mortar by somebody to highlight that abutment. It's still there.
Wow.
Yeah, quite interesting. Since then, we have recently had people who wannabes, I guess you'd call them.
Uh-huh.
They want to be writers. They want to be talkers and such. Unfortunately, they don't get their information good. One young man says, "Oh, that bridge in the cemetery, 2/10 of a mile from the south gate, is the Headless Horseman Bridge." But he qualifies it and says, "Not the original." Real smart, Alec. And then he points to the bridge outside the gate and said, "That's the Headless Horseman Bridge. See that blue sign?" And we look at the blue sign, and we realized that it was put up by the state of New York. And then we looked around a little bit more, and we found out that the mayor had something to do with it. Yeah. We asked the mayor, "You know, Mr. Mayor, that sign does not read right. That sign says that the Headless Horseman Bridge crossed the river at this point." I said, "No way." "Well, Bill, you know how it is." I said, "Well, no, tell me, how is it?" Yeah. Well, I first went to one of the men that has control of one of the pieces of property, and I asked permission to make up the sign and put it on his property. And he said, "Go right ahead." And then, Mr. Mayor says he reneged on me. Yeah. We looked at the bridge, and we looked at one of the plaques on the bridge, and it very specifically stated, "Erected by William Rockefeller in the year 1812. Long after the Headless Horseman story was printed.
Yeah.
A lot of fun around here at times. Yeah. There's another bridge up in the swamp about where the high school is now. It was nothing more than 6 or 8 logs laid parallel to the flow of water, so the water would just trickle through, and the people could go back and forth on their wagons and on their horses. And some smart aleck called that the Headless Horseman Bridge. You can see what we're up against.
Yeah, they basically have no idea.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Until the kids get here, and then we start explaining these things to them, and the teachers say, it's better that they know all of the different aspects so they can rationalize it themselves. I said, to some point, yes, but there are other times when you've got to be very specific.
Well, I mean, it was either there, or it was either that bridge, or it wasn't. You know? I mean, there's no rationalizing
when and where.
Yeah, I mean,
you got to make sure your facts are right.
Now, how
get your
much
facts right, and try to be respectful of the fact that you're telling children about history.
Now, how spooky is it out there now? I mean, has the town changed a lot?
Yeah.
How is it a creepy place to walk at night? I guess that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, we'll walk you through, and we'll confound you quite thoroughly when you get here.
Okay.
Yes.
And now, what kinds of? I noticed that you had a lot of you have a lot of festivals and things like that going on there. A lot of Sleepy Hollow readings of the Legend of Sleepy Hollow. A lot of haunted type hay rides and things of that nature.
Yeah, they did a haunted hay ride. The fire department started it. The village took over, and the park recreation department took over. And then the Department of Public Works union said, we have to drive the trucks. So they're involved in it now. So it's a big moneymaker for everybody. The Recreation Department gets a big chunk of the money for their work for the kids. It's real nice. Historic Hudson Valley deserves a big round of applause for what they do in bringing the Legend of Sleepy Hollow alive every year. And we do our little bit in the cemetery.
Now, what was your reaction, and what was the town's reaction, if you can answer this, to not only the movie Sleepy Hollow that Tim Burton did a few years ago?
Oh, that's a bad word.
But
that's a bad word with me.
But also the remaking that happened. I don't know if you saw the film. It was one of those, I think, direct to DVD releases that was called The Hollow.
Let me run a bit of it past you, and you tell me what you think.
Okay.
I'm giving you my version.
All right.
The tree. Do you remember the tree in the story?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What did he do? Somebody took a very sharp-bladed, what was it? Not a saber, but a very sharp-bladed instrument, took heads off, and gave them to, I didn't see it, so I'm only going what I've heard.
Okay.
Gave it to the Tim Burton, and what did he do? He put him in the trunk of the tree.
Yeah.
Is that what you remember seeing?
I believe so. It's been a number of years since I've seen the film. But yeah,
Yeah,
it sounds
apparently
right.
That turned me off
Yeah.
because of one thing.
Uh-huh.
That tree was a tree of reverence to the American Indian that lived in this area.
Oh.
Oh yes, they got some very bad information, and they played it up very poorly and did a rotten job. My words, a rotten job on a beautiful story.
That's awful. That is awful.
I also don't.
It is. It's pathetic.
I don't remember windows
I made
blowing
that
up either.
comment one day doing a tour, and a woman looked at me. I almost felt that she was, ready to tear me apart. I said, "What's wrong, ma'am?" She said, "Are you telling me that was part of the movie?" I said, "Yes." And you're telling me that tree was a tree of reverence to the Indians of this area? I said, "That's what I was told." They called it the Hocahongus tree. She looked at me and she says, "I'm sorry. I'm an American Indian. It bothers me. It bothers me."
Wow.
And I apologized as best I could.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, you know how people are with films and whatnot. The
ones that did the film should be the ones to apologize.
Mm-hmm.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Well, did you see the other movie I alluded to, The Hollow? Have you ever seen that?
Tim Burton?
No.
The Hollow?
This was made. Like I said, I think this went direct to DVD. I think it was shot on a low budget, but they start out, and the reason I'm asking this question in particular is because they portray a character that takes care of the graveyard in that area, and
that was supposed to be me.
That's why I was wondering. And they also said it in modern times.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with this film?
That was supposed to be me. There was more to the story that didn't get out too well. I was supposed to realize that somebody in the neighborhood was a descendant of Ichabod Crane.
Yeah, this is
teacher.
it. Yes, this is it. Yeah.
The gym teacher.
Uh-huh.
And the gym teacher's wife was a loose woman or something.
Something
and
like that.
There was a lot more to the story. My take on it?
Yeah.
I saw the original, what do they call it, uptakes?
Okay.
In paper. One of the men at one of the restaurants that I frequent handed me the piece of paper. And I said, "You're kidding. I can't believe that they would write a story like that." He said, "Well, that's what I see." I called Culver City. They had a telephone number and everything. I called Culver City, and I told them, I said, "I think it's very rude. Simple fact, we run anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500 kids through here. And now you're portraying me as the town drunk?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, come on.
That's
I think it's very more than rude of you, because now some woman up in Connecticut comes down with the kids and has seen the movie and says, "Oh my God,
that's drunk guy.
That's that guy who's drinking all the time."
He's telling my kids these stories.
Yeah.
And she's all upset.
It makes...
That's awful.
It is.
A couple of days later, there were 3 lawyers standing by Katrina's stone. Really? Gospel truth. They were a little bit worried about me.
And they should have been.
Doing some sort of a nasty thing like a lawsuit. I don't think the gym teacher knew about it. I'm quite sure he would have been quite disturbed to think that his wife was a loose woman.
Yeah. Now, how many? How big is?
Got a giggle out of you on that one, didn't I?
How big is the town there? How many? What's the population there now?
How big is which?
What's the population of the town?
8,000.
Okay. And how far?
Round figures.
Yeah. How far are you?
Below numbers.
You're not that far from New York City, are you?
28 miles.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yep. 2 miles, not quite 2 miles from the Tappan Zee Bridge.
Huh.
Within a few hundred yards of the Tappan Zee, 3 mile wide and about 9 miles long. It's quite a body of water. Scare the good sailor, sailor, that gets out there. Wind will change direction in a moment, in a heartbeat, and scare the living whatever out of you. Yeah.
Now, what is the? I keep hearing about a lot of the different things that go on there as far as the Van Tassel, or no, I'm sorry, not the Van Tassel, but the church itself that you used to work at. What can you tell us about that building?
About the church, the building itself?
Yes.
Built in 1685 by a very, very thinking Dutchman. Built it out of local stone and Hudson River mud. Clarification, Hudson River mud is high-grade clay.
Oh.
You know what to do with clay, and the Dutch did know what to do. You can do almost anything. They built a building that has been standing for over 300 years, and it's still in place.
Wow.
And
Very
they
impressive.
used mud or clay to hold the building together.
Wow.
So that's kind of interesting there. The upper timbers are all local, oak timbers, hand-hewn. I couldn't guess at the number of shingled roofs that have been put on that building through the years. They get 10 to sometimes 25 years on a shingled roof.
Yeah.
And then you got to put a new one on. So think of all the wood that's been used for the shingles. Originally, compliments of Edgar Mayhew Bacon, a local writer, wrote the Chronicles of the Tarrytowns, described very specifically the church building. So many feet long, so many feet wide, the asp on the east end, the 7 windows and a door, the 2 balconies that were there on the original structure. all of that we have available to present to the public. More in your question?
Yeah, I was wondering about the church itself and about some of the other older buildings that surround the area.
Mm-hmm.
Other buildings? Well, I'm not very interested in the older buildings in the area. Old Dutch is my baby.
Okay.
It's another church for this Dutch Reformed church group in this area, and me and others we're very proud of it. There is the Odell House south of here, which was a tavern at one time, still standing on private property that you can view carefully. There's another building east of us. They call it the Stagecoach Stop. They call it the Antique Shop, but it was a structure of the Revolution. The Hammond House, still standing. It is quite an experience to see it. Fireplaces on the ground, so that if you ever wanted to move that building, it would be virtually impossible to do it. Those are the prime buildings we talk about.
Okay. Well, how wooded is the area in general? Are there still a lot of trees? Or there's still a lot of coverage as far as that's concerned?
I did not catch what you were saying.
Oh, I'm sorry. How wooded is the area now? Is there still a lot of trees? Is it still pretty dense, or has it been kind of cut down because of over time?
A lot of wooded area.
Okay.
Sleepy Hollow Road goes through a very heavily wooded area on the Rockefeller estate. When you get here, you will realize you're in the country.
That's awesome.
A lot of trees. You can walk back in, and it's almost like somebody turned off the volume. There's no noise, and it scares you almost.
Ooh, certainly so. Seeing as
it's beautiful.
Especially since you're about 30 miles away from New York City,
Oh, yeah.
Just, how quickly it just drops out.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
And like I say, that's one of the beauties of this area.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of New York City. Every time I've been, I just get more and more determined never to go back.
We're fortunate that some of these engineers built the roads around New York City, so you don't have to go into the city.
That's awesome.
You can go around New York now.
Very cool.
That is good. Well, Bill, thank you so much for coming on the program tonight. I do appreciate it.
Okay.
And I will.
If you got anything in the future, just give me a buzz again.
I'll definitely do that.
Absolutely.
And we'll definitely be up there next year, possibly even this year if things can be worked out. But we would love to see it, and we'd love to take the tour and meet with you.
See the history and and the area.
The tour will be done until the end of this month.
Okay.
Every Sunday at 2:00.
Okay.
People from Jersey or Pennsylvania or the New England states that might be hearing our little conversation, they can come down here in a couple hours' time and enjoy our work.
How much is the tour?
Nothing.
All right.
Oh,
awesome.
man, that's
freebie.
Come on.
Free.
And that bothers some people in this neighborhood.
Yeah, it's like I'm not paying for
Everything else
anything.
is commercialized.
Yeah.
Well, no.
No, that's great that you do that.
No,
honestly,
I wanna-
you can do that.
Let me qualify. We do have a book, a little booklet, with information about, I would say, close to 30 people that are buried in the yard. Very substantial research was done on them. So when you read the stories about them, they are real people, and you're getting good knowledge of them. The book costs $7. We try to sell the book
Okay.
at the end of the tour.
Okay.
That's no problem.
Yeah,
That's
no
the
big
only.
deal.
You don't have to buy the book.
All right. Well, all right, great. And the website is www.olddutchburyingground.org, I believe. They can purchase tickets there online, I think. And I'm going to check into that. But thank you so much, Bill, for coming on the show tonight. We really appreciate it. We had a great time.
Like I say, anytime.
All right. Thanks so much.
I enjoyed it.
Okay. We did too. Thank you.
Bye.
All right. That was Bill Lent.
Wow, that was pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, it was.
But now
we just hit the top of the hour. So keep listening, guys. We got some more fun coming up for you here at World of the Unexplained. We'll be back after this.
Remember when paranormal radio used to be open to New Age ideas and every possible form of spiritual enlightenment?
It's a religion based on the understanding of consciousness, the understanding of nature, in particular fertility laws.
To my spirit guides are those who have passed over. And, you know, I've always been able to see colors around people, which I've known now to be called auras.
Maybe coming to the close of one kind of psychic life, and I very much believe that this was what the Maya were really trying to talk about.
Well, we're not putting up with that. World of the Unexplained. Conservative paranormal talk. Big on God. Big on Guns. With your hosts Jay Scott and Trent Lackey. Heard Mondays live from 8 to 10 Eastern on Planet Paranormal Radio.
And you're listening to World of the Unexplained. And we don't have any more guests tonight, so we're just going to talk to you.
Uh-oh. Does that mean it's a free-for-all?
It does. That may mean Trent may come out with the Chewbacca impression, possibly.
Possibly. But I want to clarify something. At the end of the last show, I said something vague and cryptic, and it won't be the first time I've said something vague and cryptic or just plain weird that didn't make any sense. I said I was wearing my Star Trek shirt. My ex-Star Trek shirt, and there's a reason for that. First of all, it's a red shirt, okay? And I don't know if you guys noticed or not, Dee did, and he pointed out, and I pointed out to myself, but for whatever reason, the shirt that I wear has 3 holes right here over the left breast part of the shirt that are forming a perfect Star Trek patch kind of triangle. And I have no idea where they came from. I mean, it's a perfect, quadrilateral triangle.
Better not beam down any strange plans with Captain Kirk, man.
I mean,
he'll be a goner.
I know, because it's a red shirt. I'm done. But that's why, it's my ex-Star Trek shirt. It really has nothing to do with anything, but I thought I'd just clarify that. I have no idea how that happened. I mean, it's okay to get holes in your shirt. I mean, sometimes it happens. But, 3 holes that form a perfect triangle? Maybe I've been abducted. I don't know.
You should get abduction insurance. Yeah, so over the weekend, Trent calls me up, and he's like, dude, you've got to check this out. I'm like, what? I found UFO abduction insurance on the internet.
Life insurance.
Yeah, life insurance.
That pays you like $10 million if you...
Yeah, if you read the fine print, I think it says $1 a year is the
for
increment.
10 million years.
Yeah.
That's basically how it goes.
But it's obviously a hoax, and we're going to try to get those guys on the program just because we think it's funny. So, no offense to you guys who really think you've been abducted and listen to the show.
Yeah, I think you can get real insurance for, what, $1 a month? Was that the premium on it?
$19.95.
Yeah.
Oh, a month.
Plus like $3.95 or something like that for shipping.
But I mean, yeah, if you
I'm wondering what they're shipping for $3.95.
If you get abducted, then you get paid money for it.
A tinfoil helmet.
I wonder how you prove that you've gotten abducted.
That was my question.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, I got abducted. Well, how do I know you've got abducted?
That's what they send you for $3.95, man, is the alien abduction rape kit.
Oh, supposedly to prove that you've been probed or manipulated with genetically.
Well, no, supposedly you have to have this sheet if you claim to have been abducted, signed by the alien abductor to qualify. I think it's part of the.
Oh, the alien abductor has to
sign your claim sheet.
So wait, your abductor has to sign off on all
that?
Wanza kakakanya.
Yeah.
Ich anta toya.
I mean, I don't know how that would work.
You have to go by a notary republic when you do this, too?
No, apparently not.
A notary space republic.
That's right. From the, what is it, the Federation? What is it, Trent?
From the United Federation
That's
of Planets.
That's it, United Federation of Planets.
Right.
You do know more about
the intergalactic. I thought it was the Intergalactic Federation.
No.
It's
not
the
in this universe.
No, the United Federation of Planets. That thing you're talking about, that's another dimension somewhere.
Oh, okay.
According to the string theory.
Oh, God, let's not even start this.
some of our people.
Some of our guests will start calling
suggest.
in.
But what else is going on? I drew a pretty nice drawing of a headless horseman.
Yeah, during the interview he did.
It was pretty good, actually.
We're going to post it later.
Well, it's pretty crappy, actually. Maybe I better work on it. But, I don't really draw a lot of pictures of guys on horses that have no head and holding a jack-o'-lantern in their hand,
Yeah.
I'm not really an artist, but maybe you guys would like to appreciate that bizarre little
We should
drawing.
give it away, man, right here on the air.
Maybe so. It's just a sketch of Trent drawing a headless horseman. Sure.
We'll all sign it.
They do it on Red Eye all the time, man.
I think it's a great idea. Maybe I will give this.
877-722-7382. 877-SCARE-YOU2. Yeah, we'll give it to you.
It's amateur, but I think it's pretty good, actually.
It's at least as good as Greg Gutterfield's work, man.
Greg Gutterfield.
The host of
Red Eye.
Yeah.
Fox. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's pretty good, man.
It is pretty good,
you guys can't see it from there, but
but you may be able to own it.
It may be yours. It may be yours.
We have to put them through some sort of test, though, when they call up, man, in order to
win.
It's that good.
We could bring back the crack house, the WOTU crack house, $2 pyramid.
Yeah.
That needs to come back, but I don't know. We need more audience participation for that.
That's true. And
maybe quiz them on the first the first half of the show,
interview,
man.
Yeah. Well, I'm telling you, for those of you guys that haven't seen the movie The Hollow, it's something you should check out. It's a blockbuster. It's called The Hollow. I believe that's what it's called. And it's decent, but it is funny though that to find out that they base those characters off of real people in Sleepy Hollow. It's crazy. I mean, it's crazy. It really is. But it is kind of weird to find that out in retrospect.
I agree. That's really strange. But the thing
have you seen the film?
No, I've seen Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah. Well, everyone's seen it.
You know what gets me about Sleepy Hollow? Part of it I enjoy just because I enjoy Tim Burton, his style or his mood of films.
He's kind of weird.
Right, I enjoy his weird.
He was probably picked on as a child.
Right. Actually, if I remember correctly, Tim Burton did this very short film called Frankenpooch or something like that about a little boy who brings his dog back to life using in a style via Frankenstein.
Oh yeah.
And apparently, I want to say it was for Disney, and Disney said,
"No."
What's this, Tim?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a charming little story about a dog who comes back to life.
A boy.
And
his dog.
boy sewed the dog up using dead dogs, and
and they're like,
worked out well, and they're going like,
"No, Tim. How about no,
Tim? That's kind of disturbing."
Yeah.
We did do Old Yeller way back in the day, and that made enough kids cry. But
yeah, let's do this.
Maybe all sorts of kids would start getting ideas when their beloved Pooch passed away, and it's probably not a good idea to encourage
Talk about
that.
some lawsuits, man. Wow.
For exhuming dead dog bodies?
Maybe. I don't know.
That's really weird.
There's got to be some kind of health code that you're breaking.
Yeah, probably.
Some kind of administrative something.
I would think so.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tim Burton did that, and of course he did Batman, the first Batman, and I think the second Batman too. But the first Batman was really stuck out in my mind because it was so gloomy, and it just reminded me of what Gotham ought to be. But anyway,
I remember sitting in a theater when that movie came out with Tim Burton in it. Help me out. It's about the EVP.
White Noise?
White Noise, yeah. When that movie came out and I was sitting in the theater. No, Tim Burton didn't do that. But it was because Michael Keaton was in it. I remember the opening credits were rolling, and there was a guy in the back of the theater. When Tim Keaton's name popped,
Keaton.
Michael Keaton's name popped on the screen, he's like, "I'm Batman." And everybody just busted out laughing. It was a great scene.
But the one thing that I don't care Tim Burton did was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I thought that movie was utter crap.
It was okay.
I thought it was crap beyond crap. It doesn't even compare. It doesn't hold a candle to the original.
Well, you see, that's a problem. We grew up on the old one, so
yeah. But the old one had like a real. There was some kind of moral purpose. There wasn't all this. The Oompa Loompas were there singing their creepy song. Nowadays it's like I'm singing and dancing. It becomes this flashy little dance number, and I don't think that was the purpose of it at all. The Oompa Loompas kind of scared me when I was a kid when I saw it. And then of course the boat ride. Everybody remembers the boat ride with Gene Wilder sitting there. We're all going to hell, and na 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 no, and he's on this monologue, and they show like a chicken in there getting killed or some kind of crazy things, just little weird images that show up. It
was always an unsettling movie.
It was, and maybe it was supposed to be because there was some kind of moral purpose behind it. But that's the one Tim Burton film I don't really care for too much.
Now, I did see recently the film 1408.
What do you think?
It really didn't frighten me that bad. I stopped watching it the night I was watching it because of many reasons. Oh, there's my cell phone. That's why you don't turn your cell phone on while you're in the studio. Anyway, so, like that nostalgia ring there, don't you? Anyway, the point is, what was the point I was making?
I don't know.
See how telephones just throw you off? The point
wasn't that scary, you were saying.
Yes, okay. So but what the situation itself kind of freaked me out, and here's what I mean by that, situation-wise. I was watching the film. I was here by myself with the dog, and just hanging out watching the film. And so I think I called you or your wife answered or something, and I think she was like, "Don't watch that movie alone." Because it's funny, because as I'm watching the whole film, I'm like, this guy, I can totally relate to the character, because it's kind of like something that I would do. I'd be like, yeah, whatever, okay.
Yeah,
so
somebody just got skeptical.
I'm very skeptical. I'm very, I'm not really skeptical to a sense. I mean, I know, there it goes again. I know it's like, the demonic in my mind, but, I was like, I wanted to, there's a lot of things that the main character and I had in common in certain ways, but, and then in others, totally not. But, the one thing, though, I was watching that and seeing all that, and then I get a call from Jason Hawes from Taps on my cell phone, and he's like, "Hey, Jay, how's it going?" And I was like, "Oh, hey." and I said, he's like, "What are you doing?" And could you get him? Anyway, I said, this is another thing that happens when you bring your dog in the studio with you. Anyway, so he's like, well, hey, how's it going, Jay? And I'm like, not much. He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, well, I'm watching 1408. And he says, yeah, I just finished watching that. And I'm thinking, okay, he just finished watching it. I just got off the phone with Trent and his wife, and they're telling me, don't watch it alone. Here I am relating a lot to the main character. I'm watching something else. I'll watch this tomorrow in the daytime. And that's what I did.
So you didn't finish it. Well, maybe if you had then...
it just really... I mean, it's a creepy movie, don't get me wrong, but I mean, there's very few movies that really bother me.
I think it's also what happened to us when we left, too.
Yeah.
That probably added to it, and also we were in the theater, it was dark, and somehow it just got into our heads, Maybe if you had continued watching it, it might have done the same.
It may have.
Possibly. I mean, that's where the fear comes in. I mean, the movie itself may or may not have been scary, but you're going like, oh, what's going on? What's really going on?
It was a good film, and I think, Stephen King, just generally, Stephen King is one of those writers that can take some of the most ordinary, everyday stuff and turn it into something really creepy.
Yeah, and in a way it was,
I mean, because basically, how many haunted house stories can you write,
really?
And make them all unique, and Stephen King can do it. I mean, It wasn't really a traditional haunted house story, although he has written those. It was more of a haunted room, in a motel or hotel, and just weird.
Horrible things happen to people who go to the room.
Yeah, don't go to 1408.
Don't go. It spells the number 13. 1408.
It's 1408. You're right, it does.
It's the number 13. 13, triskaidekaphobia. Do you know what triskaidekaphobia is, Scott?
No, I have no idea.
Triskaidekaphobia is the phobia of the fear of the number 13.
You're afraid of having the fear of the number 13?
Well, no. You're afraid of the number 13 and it having disastrous ill effects on you.
I was going to say you're afraid of getting the fear of having the number 13.
No. I mean, you are legitimately afraid of the number 13.
I believe it, man. People who just, run off, don't get their change when, it's $13 back.
Maybe so.
What?
Yeah, man.
Really? I need to hang around these people.
What?
Yeah.
Score a little cash on the side, man?
Yeah, man.
Maybe they don't make phone calls when it's 13 after the hour.
Have you ever heard of...
I mean, really, people with that kind of phobia will go to those links, They will avoid 13 or any form of the number 13 in their house or their lives.
People are still superstitious after all this time.
Of course. And it's not going to go away. It's just human condition.
Yeah, it is.
But
strange.
Anyway.
Call us with your phobias. 877-722-7382.
336.
Yeah, maybe 996-1596.
Yeah.
Maybe you have a phobia of, I don't know, eating in public.
Right. What's that phobia?
Or heights. Or
why don't you find out?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. We'll
let us know. I mean, it doesn't have to be you. You can say, this guy that I know has this phobia, and he's totally like a real person. He's like completely real, although you haven't met him. And he's real, and for some reason he had to leave this world for reasons you cannot comprehend.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Fear of Mountain Dew. I don't know. That could be a phobia.
Fear of Mountain Dew.
Yeah, it could be.
I mean, and there probably is. I mean, but, honestly, what's the
fear of milk?
It's pretty crazy looking outside of the container, man.
It's just
outside the aluminum can, it looks radioactive.
Yeah, it does. Well, it looks kind of green now,
Maybe they're afraid of that intense. What was that? That the dew intense. What was it,
all
guys?
of a sudden you're going to be snowboarding.
Yeah, exactly.
Snowboarding down Mount Everest. Wearing a tri-cornered hat and floaties, going like, "Hey, let's party!"
Ride the walrus, man.
I'm drinking a Dew, man.
Extreme, man.
Extreme. I'm sorry. I'm just jumping around a lot, but I really, I don't know if they do it now, but I mean, for the last couple of years, they tried to make things more exciting or interesting by adding the word extreme to it.
Oh yeah,
I think marketing has always done that, man.
It's comical.
This is extreme radio.
There was some product I remember when I was
don't do that, Scott.
12 or 14
Extreme
years
radio.
old, man, where they had retaken, I don't know, it was bagels or waffles or something, and made them square and edgy, and that way they were extreme, man.
Extreme.
They were called something like squiggles.
Squiggles. God, we're gonna get sued by the waffle company now.
Squiggles. Extreme
waffles.
I'm giving them a rock and roll salute. Yeah.
I'm sure they haven't renewed the trademark on it, man. I'm sure it became unprofitable to
But I mean,
years ago.
I mean, you kind of carry that logic to a certain extent. It becomes kind of ridiculous, like they start talking about, what's that stuff I'm thinking of? Extreme milk of magnesia, or extreme antacid, or whatever.
Maybe that's just because people are eating more extreme foods, man.
Yeah, extreme prunes.
Oh God. Do any of you guys eat prunes?
I have before.
No, I mean eat them regularly.
No.
And neither of us would probably admit to it.
No,
on
I mean,
air.
I hear it keeps you regular, but
they're just dried plums, man.
I think they're kind of nasty though.
Why don't you just eat plums? What's the difference between plums and prunes?
Why not
Plums
just
are
eat
good.
grapes?
Plums are good.
Plums
yeah,
taste good. Grapes are good.
Right, but
Raisins are good. But prunes are nasty.
Prunes are
nasty.
Whatever. I mean,
it ain't nature's candy, man. It's nasty.
It's an abomination.
It tastes bad.
But they're extreme, Scott. Extreme prunes. Come on, Sunsweet. Let's see it. Let's see some extreme prunes out there.
Extreme.
Or maybe some extreme prune juice.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Extreme.
They could put like extra
full throttle or something.
Right.
Ginseng.
Right. Okay, that seems to be the new gimmick in advertising now.
No, the new thing, ginseng and like, have you seen this new,
or whatever,
this new Coca-Cola and Pepsi with vitamins?
Yeah, it's got vitamins and
Come on.
Is there a Diet Pepsi with ginseng in it?
Yeah,
too?
yeah.
Oh, let's just put some little crazy Asiatic herbs and it'll somehow make our ridiculously unhealthy soft drink completely healthy and legitimate now. Now don't worry about me. I've only had 12 of them, but they got ginseng or ginseng in them.
Ginseng. That's how they say it down here. I'm
Oh
sure.
yeah, you're probably right. I remember years ago when I worked at a CD store in the music department. I remember a guy coming in and asking me for the latest 2-pack CD. Yeah.
I thought you were going to say the Gin Blossoms.
No.
The Gin Blossoms.
They was like, "You got that new 2-pack?" I'm like, "A 2-pack of what?"
Well, they make 2-packs.
Yeah, and the new 2-pack CD.
2-pack.
And I mean, it took me, honestly, maybe I wasn't that bright of a kid. I don't know, but it took me a while to figure out that he meant Tupac. And yeah, 2-pack. And yeah, that was a great story. Okay.
I don't know. Why don't they make
and
things...
your Raw Mexico name, Tupac, is.
But anyway, yeah, that just seems to be ridiculous marketing strategies, especially like Life Water. You've seen that stuff.
No, I have
somehow.
Life Water.
Yeah, it's like funny colors, and somehow it's going to be healthier than regular water.
Well, it doesn't have electrolytes and sugar and stuff.
Yeah. So
like
basically,
Gatorade.
they've ruined the water. In my opinion, water is water.
I had some of it recently. It was like lemon flavored or something. And you know what? I thought maybe just a little bit in there, a hint of lemon.
Mm-hmm.
No, dude.
It tastes like lemon.
It tastes like somebody squeezed lemons or lemon juice or something into my water.
It's just citric acid. I mean, all those fruit flavored.
But it was artificial too, man.
Yeah, it's just citric acid.
What is this new push that the some of the domestic beer companies are doing now? Have you seen this? It's like they're adding some kind of lime or something to the beer.
Oh yeah. Maybe the
no, it's like even
beers.
Budweiser's doing it, and I think they're trying to. I think they are trying to market to the Hispanic
market because
population.
Yeah, because they want limes in their beer.
Yeah, well then cut a lime, dude. It's America. We don't drink limes in our beer.
That's true.
It's a whole Southwest fad now too. You know, for the last 5 or 10 years, everyone's been having Southwest cuisine. I've even seen it with the tortilla chips now, where they're lime-flavored chips.
No, I have to admit, hint of lime tortillas are pretty good. I enjoy those, actually.
I'm not a big fan.
That's a little artificial, too, though.
Oh, completely artificial, but it tastes good.
It's like the guacamole ones,
I'll tell you what I like that's totally artificial, and that is a really good, bright yellow honey mustard that you get at some of these little diner hole-in-the-walls.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Overly processed, man.
Like it's yellow,
good,
like
dude.
the sun. It glows when you
I don't want this real honey and mustard and all this, snooty crap. I want the good old processed, bright yellow honey mustard.
Manufactured by French's.
Oh, yeah. No, even French's can't make it good.
Like Monarch, the Monarch Food Company or whatever.
I don't know who makes it, but, I mean, it's good stuff, dude. It's great. Processed, processed out the wazoo.
I bet you like the cranberry sauce that's just jellied and in a can.
I'm really not a fan of cranberry sauce.
Well, if you did like cranberry sauce, you would like the processed.
I really do like.
Jelly.
Man.
I like the whole berry.
Really?
Myself. Yeah, because I like cranberries anyway. So
I like cranberry juice.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Why are we talking?
I have no idea.
Yeah, we're just jumping around.
We're coming up at the bottom of the hour.
I know. We're trying to kill the time.
I'm kidding. No, we're just kind of moving along. Jumping around.
Jason Offutt called me the other day. He was gonna guest host a radio show. I think he was telling me.
Oh yeah.
I'll have to find out how that went.
That's true. That'd been fun.
So
he's good on the radio.
Yeah, he is. He's very good on the radio. But I think he was actually going to co-host with someone for this one episode, interviewing someone.
Huh, that's cool.
So interesting news from the world of Jason Offutt.
Over in Missouri.
That's a good trip there, Missouri.
Yeah, so, we did go to Missouri.
Yeah,
that was a long time ago and far away. Not quite Cape Girardeau, but, just on the southeastern tip. And that was, weird, because it was highway all the way up to it, and then all of a sudden, there came a point after we got to Paducah in Kentucky, it just became like a 2-lane road for, miles and miles and miles. You remember that, Scott?
No, I don't, but I'm glad you do.
Yeah.
So,
and, it was kind of cool, because it was just a 2-lane highway, like 64 or whatever, but anyway.
Yeah, well, anyway, guys, hang
break
out.
Time.
We're gonna take another long break. No, we're gonna take another break. We'll be back in just a second. We're gonna talk about some Halloween stuff. We want your ideas too, so give us a call here, 877-722-7382.
This is World of the Unexplained.
Boo.
I am Trent Lackey.
I think they know.
Anyway, 1-877-722-7382 or 1-877-SCARE-YOU-TOO. Locally, 336-996-1596. Call us in. Talk about your phobias. Talk about Halloween stuff. We have a special offer. I drew a picture of the Headless Horseman. It's pretty good for an amateur.
We're going to get emails about this thing.
And we're gonna give it away. I'm gonna give it away. I just drew it just now. It was Bill Lent had kind of inspired me talking about the old Dutch Cemetery and Sleepy Hollow, and there it is. So we're going to give it away for those of you who WOTU. Anyway.
Those of you who WOTU.
Do you know? 1-877-722-7382, 1-877-SCARE-YOU-TOO, or 336-996-156. Call us today!
156-1596.
Anyway. Yeah, well, that's why I failed as a radio telephone announcer for... for those cheesy commercials,
Ronco?
Yeah, for Ronco. I used to work there for about a week and a half.
I'm
making that up.
My father used to tell me stories about friends of his that were alcoholics back in the day.
Those are always fun.
And one of his friends used to apparently, you remember the old commercials were back in the 80s. And I suppose in the 70s, where they would have, they'd be selling something like All Good Siding or something like that, siding or something, where they'd have this cute little girl answering the phone. Just call now, it's like, hi, I'm Cindy. Okay. So it's like, it's like, you'd see the girl though, and it's like, "Hi, I'm Cindy. Call in," and all that.
Uh-huh.
Well, this friend of my dad's, would actually, good Lord have mercy.
What?
Why is that ringing?
Why? Why are you ringing, phone?
Anyway,
it shouldn't be ringing like that.
Yeah, it
All
shouldn't
these
be.
Phone ringing.
See, that's what happens when the phone guy's gone, man. D's out tonight.
Yeah,
that's what happens when the phone guy's
wait.
gone. Now we have that's the guest line. Now we have another line.
Well, now
just throw that on hold. All right. So anyway, but yeah. So this guy used to actually call up expecting when he was loaded to talk to the pretty girl. So when he would get a girl on the phone, he would start talking trash to him. He'd be like, "Hey, baby,
what's your sign? I got my happening guy. I got all my real teeth."
I mean, you know what I mean, though. I mean, can you imagine getting a phone call? Because I'm sure they're in some kind of call center somewhere from some drunk guy that thinks that he's talking to the girl he just saw on TV.
Yeah,
so he's talking all kinds of
all.
trash. No. Weird, huh?
That's pretty weird.
Well, let's see who's on that line since Chuck's gone. Let's bring him up.
That's true.
Go for it. Yeah, that one.
Hello, you're on WOTU.
Hey, Trent, what's up?
Hey. What's going on?
How are you guys doing tonight?
We're doing good. How much of this have you heard?
Actually, I've been listening the whole night tonight, so...
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
You should have called in.
I mean, whenever Trent offered to give away the drawing, I had to call in.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, considering all the stuff I've won, I'm a shoe-in for tonight.
Absolutely. And
anyways, actually, I did have two things that I wanted to talk about when I called in.
Okay.
First thing is actually for all the listeners. Just so you all know, the past half hour, this is how Jay Scott and Trent really are.
In real life.
Yeah, this is not some kind
of... I went to college with you guys for so many years. The only difference is normally whenever I'm around you all, there's more gaming references.
Yeah, that's true. We try to weed out the D&D, and White Wolf stuff, but not to isolate people, but yeah. Very true, Chris.
And let me see, the second thing was, and actually this is something that you brought up at the beginning of the show, Scott, was a way to get people there on time.
Yeah.
Okay, this is something that the Mythbusters actually used.
Uh-oh.
So it's certified. Anyone who shows up late has to buy a six-pack for the rest of the crew.
That sounds like a great idea.
You like that?
I do.
I don't.
It also works well for folks who leave their cell phone on during the show.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. Now, how do you get that out of people with no money though?
I owe you.
Yeah, well then you would owe us like a case in a week.
You'd hit me up like 45 years from now and say, "Hey,
man,
six-pack.
Hey,
all this time's late. Oh, wait a minute. Six-pack, cell phone on during the show.
It'd probably equal out actually.
Maybe so.
Yeah. So how are things in Hotlanta, Chris?
Things are actually rather cool.
Really?
It has not been that hot, thankfully.
Good.
Other than that, just the usual 60-hour work week, going to school, doing my homework.
Oh, wow.
60 hours.
Working on another degree.
Yep.
Huh.
Fantastic.
Interesting.
Maybe we ask what that is?
I'm working on information security specialist. I'm going to be an anti-hacker, in a sense.
Oh, well, that sounds pretty... pretty,
so, I
pretty
mean, if anyone
stuff.
ever figures out how to update your webpage, I'd be able to find out who it was and thank them.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
That's something that needs to be attended to. Right now, we're like 7 podcasts behind, but Dee edited all of those over the weekend. We spent 6 hours doing it. And they're up there now. They're just not available. I think I posted one. I'm going to post the rest of them this week. And, did a great job.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
So, Chris, do you have any phobias or any interesting phobias you'd like to talk about? Or do you know
I am terrified. I am so afraid of being afraid.
Weird.
What kind of phobia is that?
I wonder what kind of phobia
afraid
is
of
that?
being afraid.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when you think about it, fear at its worst will wind up paralyzing you, keeping you from being able to do anything at all. Yeah, that just terrifies me.
Sounds like a fearophobic to me, man.
Fearophobic.
Hey, there you go.
I don't know if that's really the scientific name.
I'm sure there's a real scientific term for it.
I'm going to try to find out. I'm going to Google it.
There you go. I'm sure it's there somewhere.
fear of being afraid.
That's a
There's
good
my
one.
favorite phobia, which is nilophobia.
What is nilophobia?
Which is the fear of nothing.
Good Lord.
That's another
I thought
six-pack.
That was nilophobia. That is D calling. Why is D
All
calling
lines
my cell
just
phone?
ringing off the hook tonight, man.
I'm saying,
It
why
doesn't
is
matter which one it
D
is.
calling my cell phone now?
Yeah, that's kind of odd. You know, we're in the middle of a show.
They're calling your cell phone because I came up with that idea. That's what it is.
Possibly. But fear of being afraid. Well,
Yeah,
we're gonna look
he's
that up.
listening, and now he's yeah, that's awful. That's awful.
But anyway, so do you have anything else for us there?
I do have one other fear.
Okay, let's hear it.
And that's the fear that I think my dinner's burning. So, as much as I'd love to stay in chat, I do have to run.
Okay, well, that's fine. Well, you know, I guess you're the caller, so you get
Phobophobia.
Phobophobia
is the fear of phobias. That's about as close as what I'm finding here.
Okay, well, I guess I'll have to do for now.
Oh, well. Okay.
All right, Chris. Well, it's yours. My amateurish drawing of the Headless Horseman. We're gonna take a picture of this, of course, and post it up on the website. But you know, the actual hard copy right here.
It's going to you, buddy.
Going to you.
With a forever
stamp.
stamp.
I will drive down. Well, actually, I'll drive up soon, and I'll pick that up in person.
All right, that sounds good.
That way it doesn't get folded. You know?
Yeah, that's true.
There you
'cause
go.
I might mess things up.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Chris. Well, thanks for calling in.
All right, you guys have a good night.
All right, you
Thanks,
too.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Yeah.
Phobophobia.
We've had a strange show tonight. haven't
Yeah, we sure have.
Mm.
Let's talk about jack-o'-lanterns.
Yeah. Are you getting a pumpkin this year?
Oh man, of course I am. You know, and actually, I'm just gonna offer a little cooking tip for anybody who is willing to go this route. But those regular orange pumpkins that you see at Walmart or whatever, they are not the best cooking pumpkin. No, the best kind of cooking pumpkin is like a pale orange color, and it's kind of flatter and broader. And actually, in my opinion, that's an older style of pumpkin, and they make better jack-o'-lanterns too, in my opinion, because the pumpkin itself adds a creepy effect to whatever you
Dremel's
carve.
actually got a pumpkin carving tool kit out now.
That's awesome, actually.
It is. I saw it's
Yeah.
like $40. I saw it at Lowe's the other day.
I'll have to check it out. I own a Dremel, man. Maybe
Yeah, I
can-
know you do.
Yeah.
I know you do. Yeah, you should get that, man. We can all use it.
That's true.
Have a pumpkin carving party,
contest, man. Yeah. Nah. But all right, we got another caller here. Who we talking to?
Hey guys, it's me. How's it going?
Hey, what's up, man?
John Norway. Can't see me winking on the
calling
radio,
my
but
cell phone, man.
There I am.
Jerk. What's up?
Well, I couldn't get him through the other line.
Oh, well, okay.
You think I'm going to put you through on this? Let me hold it up so you can hear it through the mic. Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. I was just calling, seeing how the show went.
That was really good, man.
Pretty crazy. Bill Lent is a
great guest.
Pretty good guy.
I was really thrilled with it. I wish you'd hear it. Well, you'll get to hear it later.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll hear it later when I do the editing.
Right.
Yeah.
You did a
That's
great
true.
job with the editing, by the way. I mean, that was well done.
Yeah, well done. Good
So.
stuff. We appreciate it.
Well, your presence is definitely missed here because you see what kind of a caliber of show we have now. That you're not here and everything's just kind of falling apart. And
I have to answer the phones very
yeah,
carefully.
Chuck has to answer the
Chuck
phones.
don't know what's going
I mean,
on.
you
He's
know,
like,
he used to do
line
this,
two
but now
around here.
he's forgotten everything.
You know, you start to depend on other people and everything's gone.
yeah.
It's
I
like,
mean,
I know.
That's
like,
just
what are we
ridiculous.
doing? I don't know. How did we do this before? I don't remember. And the worst thing, I mean, when this thing started and just me and Trent, doing all this, it was, that was fun.
Yeah, oh, yeah. I remember, drinking with the ice.
Yeah, the
so you
ice.
can hear the
in
ice
cup
rattle
going
in the cup. I learned a few things here and there on this long rocky road of WOTU. So, do you have any fears, D? I mean,
Any
we're talking.
fears?
Yeah, we're talking about phobias. You don't really have to really tell us your fears, but I mean, suggest
let's see.
types of fears, maybe.
As far as phobias, not really. I mean, as far as the biggest fear I have, it's probably be drowning to death.
Okay,
I think Trent shares that one with you.
a little bit. That's not hydrophobia.
That may be the term for it, actually.
But hydrophobia is like another term for rabies. though.
Hydrophobia, I think, is just the fear of water itself.
That may be what you get when you have rabies, actually.
I thought hydrophobia was also what you called rabies, but yeah.
Oh, it might be. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I mean, I wonder about that. Scott, Google it.
I am.
You're there.
I'm looking.
So all in all, the show went really well, huh?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's doing good. I can't believe it's almost over, but I mean, we're running along a good clip. Just Scott and I just chewing the fat.
Fear of water is hydrophobia. Yeah.
But I thought hydrophobia was also rabies, though.
It just says fear of water. Hydrophobia.
Okay. But
Yeah, I think it's just hydrophobia is just the fear of water.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have that. Just how about just the fear of drowning?
I don't see that in here on this. There's a common phobia, is fear of being sick. Emetophobia.
Here's the dentist one, too. Odontophobia.
Odontophobia.
Agoraphobia. We've all heard of that. Fear of open spaces.
Yeah. And triskaidekaphobia, I was just telling you about that.
Nyctophobia. Fear of darkness.
Huh. Weird.
Well, that's what nightlights are for, right?
Yeah.
I guess so.
Thanatophobia is fear of death or dying.
What about the fear of the headless horseman?
Headless horsemanophobia. No.
I mean, come
That's
on.
probably thanatophobia, too.
Let's see here.
Well, I mean, fear of, I guess.
Oh, here we go. Here, a fear of body odor is bromidrophobia.
You can't even pronounce it, man.
And that's the fear of body odor?
Yeah.
Fear of body odor.
It can't
fear
be real
fear of bullets, ballistophobia. Like ballistics,
That's
I
just
guess.
made up too. Where are you on the urban
I have no idea what
dictionary?
side I'm on. It's some kind of
fear of
Saint Neo's specialized hypnotherapy treatment cure of phobias, something. I don't know. Okay. Let's see.
Yeah. Hey, there's a fear of cats.
Yeah.
Allurophobia?
Fear of childbirth. Oh my God. Fear of Chinese people and things. What is it?
Cynophobia.
Cynophobia.
Cynophobia. Yeah, I've heard that one.
Cynophobia.
S-I-N-O, like Sino.
Oh God, there's a Chinese man. Stop! Ah!
There's a fear of constipation.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
What about fear of communists?
I don't see that.
Should be.
Fear of comets, cometophobia.
Fear of communists and fear of the headless horseman.
There's one of dawn.
Fear of drink, potophobia. Put the pipe down, Chuck.
Oh, that was too easy.
Drinking, buddy.
Let's see if there is no fear of marijuana here.
Why would there be?
Hey, wait a minute. Here we go. Fear of monsters, teratrophophia.
Teratrophophia, I guess a headless horseman.
Musicophobia, fear of music.
What?
Yeah, fear of men, androphobia.
That is a real condition, actually.
Fear of music.
Yeah, think of how rarely you meet somebody that doesn't listen to music, but that one in 1,000 or 1 million or whatever.
Fear of the Pope.
Well, that must be
Papaphobia.
That must be really bad. Like if you're in the city with everybody that has all these ringtones on their phone, you can't get near anybody.
There's a politicophobia.
Yeah.
Fear of politics.
And the fear of the Pope. I like that. Papaphobia.
Papaphobia.
Papaphobia?
I'm papaphobic.
I think we all have a fear of politics, don't we?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Here we go. Fear of Scottish people and things. Scotophobia.
You've got to be kidding me. Fear of Scottish people.
Now I know we're on the urban slang dictionary.
Yeah, we are.
Maybe there should be a fear. Yeah,
hey,
right,
wait a minute. Here, Satanophobia is the fear of Satan. Here we go. Fear of sex, erotophobia.
Erotophobia?
Yeah, like erotic, I guess.
Yeah. Eros,
fear of sleep, hypnophobia.
I've heard of that
symmetry.
one.
Fear of slime, blinophobia.
Slime.
Yeah,
All
slime.
right, now y'all just out of hand.
Yeah, we are, dude. plain point out.
Fear of the sun, heliophobia. Oh no, the sun's up. I can't go outside.
Yeah, like Helios, the Roman god of the sun.
Yeah. That's strictly for vampires, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Here it is. Yeah, that's what you were talking about earlier, Trent. Fear of 13, how do you pronounce it?
Triskaidekaphobia.
That's it, triskaidekaphobia. Yeah. Fear of thunder.
I've heard that.
Fear of tyrants, tyrannophobia.
Fear of tyrants.
There's fear of time, chronophobia.
Chronophobia, well, that seems to make sense.
Fear of venereal disease, syphilophobia. I'm not making this up.
Ronmexophobia.
Oh, that's good. That was too good. That was too good.
Yeah, you know,
that
was a nice
good.
little segue where I tied in. See, you know, because now, like I said, I learned a few things doing the show. Tying disparate elements
and
together.
here we go again, back to that fear, phobophobia.
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 Yeah.
Weird.
Huh.
So.
The fear of fear.
Yeah. Fear of French people and things. Francophobia.
That's just crazy. Fear of Scotsmen. Scottish things.
Scotophobia.
I can see a francophobia, though, honestly. You know, you listen to right-wing talk radio long enough, man, they're always bashing the
I was thinking it would be the cheese-eating, surrendering cowardophobia.
Oh, come on now.
Surrenderophobia.
Surrenderophobia.
Yeah, it's like, you know...
Well, I'm going to let you go.
Okay.
The show.
All right.
Fantastic. Thanks for calling, D.
All
and
right. I'll talk to y'all later.
All right, we'll see you next time.
Yeah, I'll even make D hang up. It's bad. I'm not even going to mention that one. I'm not even going to mention it.
Come on. Come on.
I'm not even going to mention it.
Is it not allowed or
It's totally...
The phobia is called negrophobia.
Negrophobia,
Oh,
yeah.
my gosh.
They actually have that on
kidding
there.
me.
I can't believe
Well,
it.
if you're afraid of Chinamen, Scots...
Right. I guess so. What about Papua New Guineans? Or Australians?
That's not only a fear of beards. This would make it impossible for me to actually hang out with Chuck. It's pogonophobia.
Pogonophobia.
I don't know how you pronounce that, yeah.
I think this is totally appropriate, too, because it's Halloween, the
Talk about fears.
Season of fear.
You see, this is what happens when we don't have guests.
Yeah, well, no, we just got to mess around. I mean, well, it's just, we've done this before. We can do it again.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, fear of dogs. Who fears dogs?
I know. Well, no, dogs can be legitimately feared. That's a legitimate fear for people.
Electrophobia.
Fear of lightning?
Fear of electricity.
The concept of electricity.
Fear of God is theophobia.
Yeah, theos. And we got another caller.
Yeah, we got another caller.
Somebody has their broadcast
turn that.
very
Yeah,
loud.
turn that down,
Yeah,
please.
no, man, I got to get away from it.
What's up?
Not much, man. It's Ron from Raleigh. How's it going, guys?
You're hearing it.
What's your phobia, Ron?
Man, there's so many I couldn't get them all into one show.
I got you.
It's general liphophobia, I think, at this point.
Liphophobia. Fear of homosexuals, homophobia. We knew that.
Well, I mean, that's pretty obvious, too.
Yeah. Fear of heaven, uranophobia.
Yeah, you know what I can hear here in Raleigh?
What's that?
The fireworks are going off from the state fair, the state fair.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You guys got the state fair out there.
Are you going to go?
Well, I've already been out a couple of days, but I'm working with my church, with Westover United Methodist. Has got a booth out there right near the Dorton Arena.
Oh, that's awesome.
You cooking up some good food for the folks?
Yeah, I mean, we got really decent prices, like, $1.50 up to $7. The $7's like the barbecue plate. That's top of the line. It goes all the way down to, like, your foot-long hot dogs, just your regular stuff, nothing fancy, not a smoked turkey leg or
London broil sandwiches.
or whatever the latest thing is, man. I can't keep track of it all.
But what about corn dogs? Do you have corn dogs?
Yeah, we just had French fries. That's actually what I was doing. I'm the fry cook guy. I had to cook French fries. But
or are they special French fries, or are they just regular French fries?
Well, curly? Standard state fair French fries. I think they're.
That sounds good.
Try to produce as much locally as possible, and of course they've got the full thing. It's like, I think somebody said it's the largest agricultural fair in the country.
Really, that doesn't surprise
I had no
me.
idea. But that's very cool.
I know it's definitely the biggest fair in the state.
Well, I mean, that's kind of what fairs were way back in the day before the rides and the cotton candy. It was
absolutely
a way of,
the agricultural contests for like the animals are all about people buy the winners. So basically, it's the farmer coming to replenish his herd's breeding stock and things like that.
Exactly. And actually, when I go to the fair, it's not the rides, it's cotton candy and the food too. But I mean, I like to see the agricultural exhibits, and rarely I get a chance to because of all the rides and all the other distractions. But to me, that's what I enjoy. I like to see like the big pumpkin that they grew, and all the stuff that
yeah, exactly,
things like that.
Ron, I hate to do this to you, man, but you always call too late. We can't talk to you. We've got a minute and a half. We got to get off here. So
come in late and hot, and get something done. God bless you guys. I'll talk to you next time.
All right, man. Have fun at the fair for me.
I will, man.
All right, take care.
Take care. Bye.
And that was Ron Paul Hunter.
Man, it's already time to go.
It is already time to go.
See,
I do want to mention this though.
Okay.
Fear of Jewish people and things is Judeophobia.
Weird.
And which brings me to that whole Ann Coulter thing that everybody's got their all their panties in a wad over about her saying that Christians were perfected Jews or something. They're like, well, how's this is so inconsiderate. Oh, it's so offensive. And you know what? I am so sick and tired of people being offended by certain things that other people say.
It's also a bunch of faux offense too, man. No one's actually
no one
really
cares.
offended.
They're just putting on the hat. They're having something to talk about. You know what? You guys are the worst. The guys that do that, they're the worst. I hope I offend you. I hope
Scott's
I offend
pointing
you
at
every
you right
single
now.
night that I'm on the air.
He's pointing at you.
I
Can't
hope I
see
offend you so much you go blind from the fence. I really do. People like that just drive me up the wall. That's all I'm going to say about it until next week. Anyway, this is Jay Scott, your only JD DJ on the Omni Sound Radio 1, Karma Cast, and all these other networks. I want to shout out to KWSS and you boys out there in Scottsdale, Arizona.
Fantastic. And I'm Trent Lackey, coming to you from Kernersville, North Carolina, a small town where we talk about scary things.
That's right. Spooky, spooky. And we'll be back with you next week with another surprise guest, Chuck Browder.
We out!